Hi, this is Dr. Ramirez, and it's a pleasure to talk to you. We're going to be talking about the 10 trip report that I did recently. I visited 10 countries. This is actually the itinerary of every single place I was flying literally around the world. The total count was 52,000 miles, or if you want to count it in kilometers, it was 84,000 kilometers. And as I was about to leave, the day before, my computer broke. And good thing I'm a computer scientist. Before I studied medicine, I studied a bachelor's in computer science. So I went ahead and did a major surgery on my own computer. There was no time to take it to the shop. I found the part that was broken. I was able to fix it immediately. And my first stop was in Canada. Of course, classic Canada. It was nice and cold up in Canada. And then the next stop was in Turkey. And as always, Turkey food is wonderful. They actually produce a lot of the food that is eaten up in Europe. And then the next actual speaking engagement was in Eldoret. Eldoret is found in Kenya, in the northwest part of the country, known for his tremendous runners, champions of all kinds of levels, from the Olympics to marathon. And specifically, I was going to go and do my mission in the University of Moi. In Moi, there are a few professors that have a heart for lifestyle medicine. So they invited me to talk to the students. And the goal of it was to inspire them to learn and to apply lifestyle interventions in their professional work. So first thing I was telling them is that you need to be able to be a good instrument if you yourself are living the lifestyle medicine. So I was encouraging them to actually follow those lifestyle medicine principles if you want to be a good example. And number two, I was sharing them some of my story of how, as a student, when I was in medical school, I was able to actually help transform a community with literal lifestyle intervention principles. And if you come to Kenya, you have to eat their food, all these roots, legumes, fruits, vegetables. It was wonderful food. And one last thing that I had to do there in Eldoret, Kenya, was to do some visits to the lifestyle center that they're starting. A group of physicians that wanted to make a positive impact in their community. They started this lifestyle center. So they call all the patients and ex-patients. So I was talking to them together with some of the care providers, giving them tips and hints on how they can improve the care. And I was also doing some workshops for the volunteers and workers on how to take better care of these patients. And my next stop was in Ethiopia. If you go to Ethiopia, you have to eat this injera, this special bread they make there, made out of teff, a special grain that only grows in Ethiopia. And my next stop was Congo. And Congo, very interesting place. I was in the northern part, in the Republic of Congo. There's actually two Congos. The Republic of Congo used to be a colony of France, while the South Congo, which is the biggest country in Africa, was part of Belgium. And communism came to this country some years ago, which created lots of social economic issues. They're no longer socialist, but you can still see some of the consequences of these philosophies. And one of the things we're doing, we had more than 100 health and community leaders that came to be part of this long workshop that we did. And we had a team that came from California and from Canada to be part of that training. And we were encouraging them to use these tools of lifestyle medicine to create positive change in their community. It was a very practical class. So we're teaching them about nutrition. We're teaching them about simple remedies. We're teaching them about coaching. We're teaching them about hydrotherapy, massage. And they had a chance to practice what they were learning. We went out to the community and we did a health expo. And the students were a fundamental part of this. They were the ones interacting with the visitors, doing the blood pressures, doing the massage, teaching hydro, and all these things. Myself, I was involved in the medical side of things. There was another physician that came from the island of the Caribbean, from Martinique, and Dr. Otello and myself were the ones that were able to talk to every participant of this event. And what was surprising for me, we found a lot of malaria. About a third of every patient that we tested had positive malaria markers. Also, lots of diabetes, lots of high blood pressure. Many of them didn't have a clue they had this condition. So I spent some time teaching each one of them individually. What are these lifestyle interventions they needed to apply in their lives to improve their health? And the food of Congo was interesting. Many new ingredients and many new flavors. And I actually enjoyed quite a bit every single one of those healthy dishes that we were able to eat during the time there. And at the end of the workshop, we had a big graduation. Imagine more than 100 people graduating, and they were so happy to receive that diploma. And you could see the enthusiasm in them, ready to go out to the communities and start making positive impact. And of course, even singing and so forth, that's something very cultural from that part of the world. And in parentheses, one of the challenges of Republic of Congo is education. So we visited this school that a nonprofit is helping to build. And this school, it's almost done. We're just putting the last details, but they have a challenge. The donors that provided all that materials and pay the workers and so forth, they did not want it to pay to furnish the school. So it is a responsibility of this nonprofit to find ways of getting the different tables and things that they may need for the school. If any of you has a burden to go and help them, I'll be happy to put you in contact with them, and you can actually talk to them directly. Also, another opportunity that came up while we were there in Congo, there is this program from the Congolese national television, and we did this live interview for 45 minutes. And basically, we're sharing how lifestyle medicine brings a solution to many of the health problems that the country is facing. The host was just fascinated about listening to how these lifestyle interventions can really help not only improve the health, but also in the economic side of the equation, help the country tremendously. And on my way back, I stopped in Kenya. And in Kenya, I did a workshop on massage. Many years ago, I studied massage therapy, and I was even able to get my certification to become a massage teacher. So I was teaching the how to practically learn how to do good massages. This course, they put it online. So if anybody's interested in signing up and so forth, I can put you in contact with this organization in Kenya that are the ones organizing this. If you want to learn how to do massages in English language, the course and the registration and customer support, everything that you may need with them, I'll put my contact info. You can send me a message and I'll be happy to put you in contact with them. And when I was in Kenya, I was craving some fruit. So I found this fruit stand and started negotiating with them. I gave him $1 and said, "How much fruit you can give me?" And we negotiated there. I got some very nice mangoes, and these bananas they gave me were fantastic. They were like eating sugar. And also this ugali. If you go to Kenya, you have to eat ugali. That's something that every household eats there, the ugali. And on the way back, I stopped in Turkey again. This time I was able to take a metro and go all the way inside the country. I needed to get a few things, and I was able to see a little bit the beautiful country of Turkey. On the way back, I stopped briefly in Canada. I met some friends and spent some time with them. And it was a big difference in the temperature compared to Congo. And Canada felt really cold. In fact, in the schedule there, they had that next day they were expecting some snow. And from there, I went to England. I visited one of my favorite museums in the world, the British Museum. And this museum has lots of history there. So I was taking lots of pictures. I use this as part of my lectures as I try to give, solid arguments and archaeological evidence of what I am teaching. And my main mission in Romania was to visit the lifestyle center by the name of Hergalia, a leader literally worldwide. And actually in Europe, they have been starting this lifestyle medicine education and also organizing the professionals and so forth. It's curious, even though I speak Romanian, I had never been to Romania before. It was my first time. And this lifestyle center is so successful, it takes months to sign up for this program because every single session is full. And one of the things I did when I was there, I met, they have this organization that is creating a model for lifestyle centers, from how to build the building, administration, what employees you need, what software you should be using, how you should be doing the follow-up, and all these elements that make a good lifestyle center. And because I have more than 30 years working in lifestyle centers, they included me there in that group that they are making all this fascinating model to be reproduced. It was the spring when I got there, so the trees were all blooming. It was very, very nice to see that. And as part of the intervention, I was able to go and visit this community and give some lectures. And they had beautiful music that they were singing there, in between the lectures and so forth. I really enjoyed listening to that beautiful music. And also something very interesting, I was able to visit for the first time a community of Romanians, of gypsies, and also known as Roma people. And this specific group of gypsies are the subgroup Gabor. And it was so nice. I mean, I was able to interact with them. Very nice and warm people, very welcoming. I really had a good time. I have not finished speaking, and they already had invited me to come back and do some more lectures sometime in the future. And as you can see, some of them are actually quite light, even compared to me. They look quite light. Also, another thing I was doing while I was in Hergalia at the Lifestyle Center, I was able to speak to the staff and do some training, as well as students. They have a nursing program there. So to speak to those nursing students, yeah, I had a really good time there in Romania. And one last thing I did, there, Romania is interesting because they have these communities of Hungarians. And we went to one of these Hungarian communities, And we did a little health educational program, educating people about the importance of lifestyle medicine through exercise, diet, avoiding addictions, and all these things that we teach in lifestyle medicine. And the reception was wonderful. I was speaking to the participants that were coming to the intervention. I was also talking one-to-one to some of those participants. And yeah, it was great, very well received. And from the town of Tirgomurish, I went to Cluj-Napoca, that's the name of the town, and I saw this very interesting vending machine at the airport. Usually you see this vending machine selling all kinds of junk and pop soda. Here they were selling books. What a great idea, isn't it? We should reproduce this much more. And from there, I went to Holland. It was a time when the tulips were coming up, so it was quite beautiful, all the tulips and so forth that were coming up. As it says there, we love Holland. And from the Netherlands, I went to San Francisco. I lost something on the way, so I had to go out to town and find it, and things worked out very well. I was able to go there and come back and do the things that I needed to acquire. And my next stop was Auckland, New Zealand. And in Auckland, New Zealand, there's a group that is doing some education, and it's actually helping people that are caring for patients with Parkinson's disease, as well as Parkinson patients. And one of the community leaders that I have worked with them in the past went and talked to this group and told them, hey, Dr. Ramirez is coming. Would you guys be interested in him speaking to your group and so forth before I got there? And at the beginning, they were like, really, who is this Dr. Ramirez and so forth? So they saw my CV and they really liked it. So yeah, they opened the doors. And it was interesting that at the end of the lecture, this same group that was a little bit reluctant, they were like, where did you found Dr. Ramirez? We really like them. We want them to come back. And now they want to do, they have this Congress at the national level. And now they want me to come back and, to teach some of those facilitators and trainers and so forth. So yeah, we'll see how we can work out that in the agenda. And then from there, I went to Sydney, Australia. Sydney, Australia is such a beautiful place. All the beaches, wonderful weather, nice people, interesting country. That, by the way, people get confused between the flag of New Zealand and Australia. The one Australia has the big star, so you know it's Australia. And the first thing that we were helping with, it was a breakfast with the doctors. And basically, we invited the doctors and health professionals from the community. And yeah, we're able to talk to them, encouraging them to, about those positive lifestyle changes, and specifically focusing on mental health. And we were able to catch up with some of the friends, and we had a wonderful breakfast. It was a Croatian family, the one that brought the food, and it was wonderful food. In that place where this seminar took place, I have spoken there many times. And one of the tools that we have used is a book by the name of Pandemic Busters. This book is a book that I wrote, and it's written like an infographic. Everything is written very nicely and attractive. In today's world, few people read, so you need to write things in this way so that people can put really their attention. And the book is also available in Spanish, and in fact, it's available in 8 languages, including Chinese and Russian, and Czech and Japanese, and all kinds of languages. If anybody is interested, we can ship this book worldwide. Just send me an email, dramirez.com, and I'll be happy to help you with this book. And my main mission in Sydney actually was to speak to a very multi-ethnic community group in Hoxton Park in Sydney. And here, You have many foreigners that move to Australia, their economy improves, and things that were used once in a while in their countries, here they can do it every day because they're able to afford it. And many of them start getting sick and have health problems secondary to that. So I was teaching them how, by making wise lifestyle choices, you can actually improve your longevity, you can improve your quality of life, you can actually have more joy in life as you start balancing the neurochemistry and so forth. So I was speaking to them night after night. In fact, by the time that we finished, some of them came to me telling me that they had made the lifestyle changes, how they're feeling fantastic and so forth. This is exactly what I like about doing what I do. And in fact, I had not finished when they already had invited me to come back again in the near future. I also spoke to a Spanish group that also gathers, some of the Spanish people around. And yeah, they really like what I was speaking to them. Also, they invited me to come back. We'll see if we can fit them all in the agenda. And also the television station in Australia heard that I was coming, so they invited me to come and record with them. It was a nice experience. And I visited this harbor bridge. In that bridge, you can go and see the boats coming in and out, but especially you can see the Sydney Opera House. You get a very nice view from there. And from Australia, I went back to New Zealand, and I have spoken in the past all over New Zealand. So I always enjoy doing a good workout in the beautiful nature. It was the fall time there, so the weather was very nice. And what I was doing in this trip to New Zealand, I visited the Auckland Museum. They have very nice history of New Zealand and the Polynesian islands, all kinds of interesting things they have there, as well as some natural history like this bird that used to be the tallest bird in the world, the moa bird that unfortunately got extinguished. But it was nice to see that. And the most interesting thing that I learned from that museum is that the islands in the Pacific were only conquered 5,000 years ago. And before 5,000 years, there was no humans in those islands. In fact, New Zealand was populated for the first time 800 years ago. In fact, was the last, big landmass to be, colonized by humans 800 years ago. And after that, I took one of the longest flights in the world, the Auckland to JFK flight, and I was glad to come back. If any of you has any questions or want to contact me, this is my email, and I hope that I can inspire you about these lifestyle medicine principles to continue to improve your health and improve the health of those around you. I'm Dr. Eddie Ramirez. Thank you so much for taking time to listen into this story.